YouTube. How y'all doing? This is your guy Tim 2.0, Uncle Tim, and we have Big Keison. First off, I'm gonna get this disclaimer out of the way before I even point it red at him because I know he's on fire off real quick. But I'm gonna say this real quick. What he says in this video, what he says, specifically him, it's gonna cause a controversy and people gonna try to throw bricks at him. Hey, my whole point is, I'm just joking. These are just our opinions, and again, we could agree to disagree. Comment below what you think. But the topic of this video is gonna be called, and I'm gonna go ahead with it. Mm-hmm. Is Michael Jordan the greatest of all time? Is he the GOAT? I'm gonna start off by saying this. One, Michael Jordan was a bully when he played. He bullied other players. He got his way every time he did things. He didn't care about what other people said. He didn't care about what other people did. It was his way or the highway. One thing people didn't know about Michael Jordan, until that last dance thing aired, was how petty he was. And that pettiness was with Isaiah Thomas. Do you see the new Detroit Pistons uniform? It got the Jumpman logo on the side. So I said, that's an ultimate diss. That's just like saying, I'm over it, but I'm not over it. Then you go ahead and you flip one more, Keison, one more, Big Keison, one more. I have to say something. This man's supposed to be the greatest of all time, but he didn't face the great ones when they were in their prime. So if he was in his prime and he faced Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and all the other ones, Dominique Wilkins, all these other players, it would have been something worth watching. But you playing people as they on the last leg of their career, then you talking about how great you was. Hell, you didn't get past the Celtics until they actually aged out. You didn't get past the Pistons until they actually aged out. You didn't get past half of the damn teams you went to the final against until they damn near aged out. How does that work? Look at Clyde Drexler. He aged out for real. They were around the same age, but
he was still in his prime.
Yeah, dude had a halo going. He wasn't in his prime no more. He was George Jefferson at the time. Big Keison, I've been talking too much. You go ahead, sir.
All right. Before we even get into that, first of all, you're being disrespectful. So let's get this disrespect out the way. First of all, it's Big Keison. I respect that you put that on there, but you forgot some AKAs. Okay, it's all right. AKA Big D, AKA the Bearded Assassin, AKA Raymond Reddington. Okay, yes, I got rid of Delicious. All right, I got rid of Delicious and Big Delicious, but I'm gonna keep Big D. And D can mean whatever you want it to mean for the sake of this content. Big defense. How about that? Big defense. How about that? That make you feel better? I got that big defense.
What you trying to say? Michael Jordan had big defense?
No. Okay. So let me talk about the positive of Michael Jordan first. As a competitor, Michael Jordan is top notch. That's not even a question. Some of the points that you made, Uncle Tim, are absolutely correct. See, here's the thing about Michael Jordan that people seem to forget when we have this Michael Jordan discussion. Well, Michael won 6 championships in the 90s. He played 6 years in the 80s. Y'all just forget that. Well, he ain't had no team. But you the greatest to ever lace it up. You're supposed to be able to overcome all that. All of that. But no, everyone knows. Well, y'all just don't know how tough it was. It was a tough game. Tell me, what did the Celtics have before Larry Bird got there? It was Bill Russell, and then it was a lull for a lot of years, and then it was Larry Bird. And Larry came back in, doing his thing. Magic got to the Lakers. They went to the finals his rookie year. Michael came in the league in 1984. He played and was getting demolished for 6 years. I don't mean like, he was close. No, demolished. You remember the game with Michael Jordan? They were like, oh, he scored 63 points in a playoff game. He's amazing. They lost that game. That's the thing people forget to tell you.
But, the thing that, before you go, because you brought up an interesting point right there, and I'm going to say it like this. A lot of people forget, in the beginning, Michael Jordan was Allen Iverson, Jerry Stackhouse, Steve Francis, Carmelo Anthony. Mm-hmm. He was very selfish with the ball. Mm-hmm. All he cared about was his stats, his points, him doing what he wanted to do. Yeah, in the beginning. I don't know towards the 90s what he became, but you can't win a championship by your damn self. If you're the only one with the ball and there's other players, how many players on the basketball team that plays on the court?
5 on each side.
Okay, so you got 4 other players. And you the only person, okay, the only time you use the other players when they inbound you the ball. You got the ball all the damn time. Mm-hmm. You the only one with the ball. That doesn't work. You're not going to win like that. They can shut you down. Mm-hmm. I don't give a damn how many points you score. You just one person. Mm-hmm. If you score 100 points and the rest of the team scored nothing.
That's true. And Uncle Tim, let's not act like they didn't cheat for Michael on some things. Let's be real. He did not win that dunk contest. Hold on. He did not win that dunk contest in Chicago. He won that dunk contest because it was in Chicago. Let's be honest. Dominique Wilkins, come on.
He demolished him.
No.
Dominique Wilkins, put it like this. Dominique Wilkins he was doing dunks they are doing today, back then. Mm-hmm. Michael was still just jumping from the line, doing all this and double pumping the ball, rocking the cradle. I get it, but you kept doing the same dunk over and over, and people just, he got even higher this time. Look, he's laying in. He got one leg on the rim. You like, what?
And you know what? I'm gonna say what some people don't want to hear. It took Michael 6 years to get to NBA Finals. To an NBA Finals to win a championship. It took LeBron James 5 years to get to his first NBA Finals. He didn't win, but he was able to get there. And remember, Michael played 3 years of college ball, so he was supposed to be a more mature human.
Human. Oh, okay. That's what we doing.
Okay. That's what we doing now. LeBron got there in 08. Nobody want to talk about that. And here's the thing. Michael never won a championship without Scottie. Well, y'all keep talking about Scottie. Scottie is one hell of a player that nobody seems to give the respect to. The man was very versatile. Now, all that crap about him being the best player when Michael was out the league, stop it. Okay, Penny Hardaway, some of y'all too young to understand how dope Penny was. Penny was the man. No, I had some of them Penny shoes. Young Shaq. I'm talking about Shaq that used to run down, and just dunk it on you and then look at you. That Shaq. Hakeem Olajuwon with the.
You talking about that Penny Hardaway?
You want to go there? Okay. Whatever.
Wait, hold up. What?
Mike is a great, great player, but I'm gonna ask y'all something real tough. For all of you who say that Michael Jordan is the greatest, tell me, what does Michael Jordan do better than Kobe Bryant? If Michael's your greatest, Kobe needs to be your greatest too. They need to be equal because they don't do anything better than the other. Well, Kobe copied Mike. You can copy somebody all you want to. To be as great as Kobe was, and to be as great as Michael was, that's a whole nother level of skill. So, what does Michael do better than Kobe? Nothing. They're the same height, about the same weight. They got the same jump shot. They do everything about the same. So Michael can't be the greatest if Kobe is not your greatest too. It should be 1 and 1A.
Well, see now that you're doing that. How many rings do Kobe get?
Kobe has 5.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, LeBron, he has what, 3?
3.
Okay, if you're going to say that, then you're going to throw Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. You don't have to throw LeBron in there, too.
I can't throw LeBron
just
in
because, there. Just because LeBron got 3 rings Now, man, this man made it to how many NBA finals have this man made it to?
I think 8.
But do you get you get my point?
Mm-hmm.
Just because you can will a team there, don't get me wrong. This man has done every damn thing. Now, see, this is when him and Michael Jordan differ, and I got to be honest. He got them there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know it was games when the Cavs and even the Heat wasn't even playing, and he just was out there blowing it up. You got to be out there doing it. Michael did it, but Michael had help. You know, the Cavaliers, man, when you look at the Cavs, man, no matter, I hate to say it, when you go from LeBron, you're like, what the hell is everybody else at?
Okay,
Like,
first of all,
you have to act.
y'all gonna stop sleeping on Daniel Boobie Gibson, and y'all gonna stop sleeping on Zydrunas Ilgauskas, all right? All right? Y'all gonna stop sleeping. Don't look off. Don't look off.
I was looking because it looked like somebody out there laughed. So I was just making sure the audience is laughing, so I'm laughing because I'm trying to figure where you going with this.
Okay.
Man, and look, no disrespect to anybody who's a LeBron, Michael, Kobe, Allen Iverson fan. You know, everybody got their own number one player who they think is the GOAT. Some people say Kareem. Some people say Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Okay, I can get that. Dr. J, because, you know, you can't have none of this without Dr. J. Michael Gain was copied off of Dr. J. If you look at some of the dunks and some of the moves, hell, Dr. J was doing it first. But we give Michael more credit because Michael added more flair. That's the only thing that was different.
You think so?
Think about the dunk, the free throw line. What was different about it? Flair.
I don't even think it was that. I'm going to tell you what I really think it is, Uncle Tim. It's the era that everyone grew up in. If Dr. J played in the 90s and Michael Jordan played in the 70s, y'all be like, oh, Dr. J is the greatest. It's just unquestionable. That's it. That's who you grew up seeing. That's who you think is the greatest. People now are seeing LeBron James play. That's why they consider him the greatest. Some of the ones a little later, they see Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant. That's who they consider the greatest. You consider the greatest on average by who you saw. So a lot of people saw Michael Jordan growing up. You know, it was the, you know, when you heard that, boy, that was a Bulls, come on. You know, Michael Nim, 6'6" from North Carolina, you knew who that was. That's not a question of who that was. But that don't make him the greatest. And again, I'm not saying that he's not great, but my thing is when I think of the greatest, I should be able to say they're great all across the board. Michael Jordan wasn't even the best player on his college basketball team.
Well, but, you know, I'm going to say this, man. You know, greatness is not defined, and I'm going to be honest, not defined that you got to be great at everything on the court. No, you don't.
Really?
You got to be the best out there. When I say the best out there, when you walk out there, everybody like, oh, damn. Oh, man, come on.
Really?
No, he ain't
That's what you think?
Look, man, let's just forfeit, man. He playing.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's do it then. I'm going to give you some examples, and you tell me. LeBron James didn't go to college, so he has that against him. But in high school, would you consider him one of the best high school players to ever lace it up? From what you know.
Well, you know, I'm going to be honest. Kobe Bryant, played community college?
No, he played high school, too.
I'm saying, what I mean was...
He went high school to the NBA.
He went from the high school to NBA?
Mm-hmm.
See, you can't really talk about... Well, look, Garnett.
Another great example. When he was in high school, you considered him the best high school player in America. Done deal. Not a question. Same thing with Kobe Bryant. He was considered the best high school player in America. Not a question. When Michael Jordan played high school ball, nobody knew who that dude was. When he was in college, he wasn't the best college player. James Worthy was the best player on that team. If I say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's considered one of the best high school, if not the best high school player ever. Definitely considered the best college player ever. I mean, he lost, one game in 3 years? And then NBA, he's the all-time scoring leader. But because he's not jumping from the free throw line or he's out there, you know, trying to market those ugly shoes, y'all don't give him the same credit. I said what I said.
Yeah, balls. balls. Your name gonna be balls in a minute because I think you got a lot of that.
Bearded assassin.
But I'm gonna say this though, man. You know, when you get down to it, look, you can't be great at everything. You can't, again, you don't just automatically become great, and I'm serious, you don't. Mm-hmm. Great becomes, it takes a lot. You got to go through some stuff. If you just came out the womb great, hell, then what's the purpose? You have to come out and live. And when you live and have mistakes and go through hurt, you grow. And it took him a minute to grow. The reason why I said like this, Michael was known for being a man whore. Now, just being honest, that's what they called him. You didn't know nothing about it because it wasn't a time of the internet. We didn't have the internet back then. Mm-hmm. You had word of mouth. You had private investigators. Right now, everybody's a private investigator. They got cell phones that can snap a picture and put you straight online. The thing that I'm trying to say with Michael Jordan that a lot of people missed, Michael Jordan was a marketing gimmick. The family dynamic. He was at a time when the NBA was losing viewership. He came in with the flair. He came in with some of the, the energy, the shoes. Everybody and their mama got a pair. The thing that I'm trying to put out here is you can market family. Mm-hmm. And, they kept it under wraps that he was an asshole. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to be honest. They really did. But with Kobe couldn't help his arrogance. He let you know it. Kobe couldn't be the face of the NBA. We all knew that. When Michael was retiring and, he wasn't the face of the NBA. The NBA didn't have a face at the time. It had stars, but not a face. LeBron now is the face of the NBA. And I'm going to be honest. He is. Mm-hmm. Right now, they market him as a family man. It's this and that. He's out with suits on like Jordan would. This is how you gotta be. A lot of guys want to wear big ass dookie robes at the interview with gold chains, looking like rappers with leather pants on. Dude, you ain't about to sing you ain't about to bust no bars. Do what you supposed to do. Set an example for the kids, and that's one thing that Michael did. He came out there with a suit on, talking intelligent. Now I'm being honest. He talked intelligent. There was no arms, no lights, and no. The man was very articulate. And that's what helped him. Okay. You create an image of a brother that could speak, that could dress, and can carry himself well. That helped.
Again, that still don't make him the greatest. Look here. No matter how you break it down, to me, if you want to bring LeBron James into it, LeBron James done more off of the court than Michael Jordan. You see LeBron James standing up for rights. You see LeBron James assisting in opening schools. You see LeBron James standing up for the betterment of black folks. Okay. You heard Michael Jordan say, hey, Republicans wear shoes too. This ain't about Republicans. This is about standing up when injustices were happening.
But Michael Jordan put $200 million out there over a certain amount of years to help. But
$200 million over 10 years. No, it was $100 million over 10 years. So that's $10 million a year. He does more than that than probably selling shoes in Chicago. He could probably make that $10 million back like that. That's a money thing, but he's not out there. He's not. For all his time in the NBA, he was quiet. When the Rodney King thing was happening, quiet. Anything that didn't have to do with his so-called image and them ugly big suits that he was wearing that you love to talk about, them suits were ugly and big. But guess what? That's not making him the greatest. I'm not even judging him on that. I'm judging him on his basketball prowess. He has six great years.
No.
That's it.
You went there, so we don't go there. You said he wasn't in the public image. It's not his. It wasn't his job to be out there protecting the rights of black people. Black people got to be out there. You can't put it all on one person and say you're supposed to carry it. It's nobody's job to be a Jesus. Because what happened to Jesus? He was stoned. He was crucified. Now, we putting somebody out there to be crucified because we don't want to do it. If we want rights, if we want to be heard, we got to get out there. You can't just put it on Michael, LeBron, Kobe.
No, but But here's the thing with those other players that I can name as great, they weren't afraid to say what needed to be said because in the end, when they stepped off that court, they were black men. Now, so if I bring up Bill Russell, if I bring up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you can look up those men. Bring up Wilt Chamberlain. Those men stood up for rights outside of just the sports they played. Hell, when Muhammad Ali went to jail, go look it up. Those men went to get him. They didn't say, well, I got this marketing shoe. They said, look, we're black men. When we step off this court, I am a black man. Bill Russell, you can quote it. He said, I don't play for the Boston Celtics. I play for the Celtics. Because he understood when he stepped off that court, he was still a black man.
Well, it doesn't matter. You know what? After you step off that court, you still got to understand, you got to protect your family. Your number one job as a black man is the betterment of your family. You can't go against your own family to protect somebody else. I'm going to be honest with you, brother. This is where we lose face at. You know, we sit back and we want somebody else to do all the hard work for us. In our community, and I'm going to take it there, in our community, we look for somebody else to be the Moses, somebody else to lead us out, somebody else to be that Martin Luther King, to guide us through. Then when we get sick and tired of what they got to say, we destroy it.
We don't destroy anybody. We didn't destroy anybody. We don't destroy. Of all those people that we're talking about and all those things, they were destroyed from the outside of the community. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Michael Jordan at the time of the 90s, let's take it back. We're both from Chicago. You know, growing up in Chicago, that people were getting beat up and they were getting killed over those shoes behind you. And rather than come out and just say, hey, calm all that down. That the shoes, he said nothing. He continued to let this happen. Now, you can talk about all the other stuff in the community, but when you see people dying over your product and you say nothing?
But it's not his product. It's Nike's product.
Well, no, that's an effigy of him jumping up.
You know,
that's not a Nike sign on that. That says Jordan. Those don't say Nikes by Jordan. Those say Jordan. We know that Nike is a product.
It didn't become Jordan until after the fifth shoe.
But we talking the 90s. We ain't talking them 80s Jordans. We talking them 90s Jordan when it was at its peak of people getting killed for those shoes.
Brother, I'm going to tell you something. All the stuff that we talk about right now, we can go on. And I'm going to be serious.
And he still ain't the greatest.
But when you look at it and say, this man should have said something about these shoes when people were getting hurt, damn. Do you supposed to say something about everything? Something happened, dude, you gotta...
Not everything, but guess what? He said nothing about nothing. There's not one thing you can tell me that he stood up for in the 90s. At his peak of his not one real issue.
They came to him and said, hey, the people over in China where they make your shoes at make like $5, $6, not 5 or 6, like
pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm. And they were like, what you gonna do about it? He said, well, I'm not gonna do anything about it. And the reason he said that, and he said it just like this, they have laws, they have all type of, bills to keep this from happening. If the government is allowing this to happen and you trying to come to me to fix it, that's not. So I have to go over there and be the whole government. Then here, you say, what type of major... I'm going to tell you something. And I'm going to be honest. And I have to say, oh, God, I'm sorry. And I'm going to say this. When Colin Kaepernick took that knee, when everybody was taking knee with him, he got destroyed. I mean, this man got crushed. Even the people that was with him at one point in time turned on him. Even all the fans that was with him at first, all the black fans that was with him at first, turned on him.
They didn't turn
on him. A lot of them.
The black people did not turn on him.
Now, what they were trying to say, and this is what I was hearing from a lot of black fans, I just want to see football, man. Stop all that other extra stuff. I just want to see football. Now, all of a sudden, when everything is going on, we want somebody to sit back and tell us, oh, man, why you ain't saying nothing? Because like you said before, and you said this countless amount of times, you said, for the first person who do it, You die out there on that mountain alone. You die by yourself.
I
you
do
go
say
out
that off camera. Off camera. They don't know about it off camera. We can bring it on camera.
Well, off camera, you said you go out there and die by your own.
Right.
But you know
first.
what I'm trying to say here, my brother, and this is what I'm trying to say. Not once did anybody besides Al Sharpton say, "Hey, let's rally to get this man his job back." You know, how's he going to support his family? How do we know that money he made is going to support him? Mm-hmm. You know, nobody thought about him. It was just about all this. Now all of a sudden, Kaepernick, you do got a point. Now all of a sudden, he looking like, man, I don't want nothing to do with that shit. And I'm serious. That's the way he was coming at it. Like, I don't want nothing to do with it.
But he's still out there. He's still on the front lines, you know, being out there in the public eye. He's still out there. But here's so you brought up something that I say off camera, which is if you're the first, you're going to have to die on that mountain. And a perfect example of that is Muhammad Ali. Well, Colin Kaepernick wasn't the best player in the NFL. Well, Michael Jordan was the best player. Muhammad Ali at the time was considered the best boxer. So it becomes a little different. Being the best boxer, now everyone says, oh, he was so right and so righteous for what he did and stood up for his religious rights. But guess what? During that time, he died on that mountain by himself. But a lot of people came to his aid. And that's what I'm saying. Michael Jordan was the biggest. He wasn't going to lose his contracts. He was the biggest face. Just like LeBron isn't going to lose his contract because he speaks up about a subject. Michael Jordan wouldn't have lost anything of that nature. You might lose a few, but you're going to gain some other ones. But I know we went around and talked about a few other topics, but I want to bring it back to his basketball prowess and say this. Michael Jordan had a good 7 to 8 year run. Because in the 80s, I can't distinguish what he did from Dominique Wilkins. Because he could never beat Isaiah in the 80s. He couldn't beat Magic in the 80s. He couldn't beat Bird in the 80s, if you highlight. He couldn't even beat an old Dr. J in the 80s. So, how are you
I'm going to go here. I'm going to say this. The thing that you miss in the beginning of a lot of basketball players' career, they're not ball players. They're brands. They're trying to create a brand. They're out there dunking. They're out there doing. They're out there scoring champions, scoring leader, scoring icon, scoring whatever you're doing. That's all they're about in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Allen Iverson, Jerry Stackhouse, Dominique Wilkins in the beginning, Kobe Bryant in the beginning, Shaquille O'Neal in the beginning. All of these players started out as jacks. And what I mean, they just jacking a ball of Carmelo Anthony, Stephen Curry. All of them were jacks in the beginning. But after a while, man, it starts to change. Mm-hmm. Russell Westbrook, the Beard.
James Harden.
Yeah, and the other guy that went to Golden State and
Kevin Durant.
You know, I'm just saying, man, a lot of these players, don't get me wrong, I understood everything that you said, and I could agree with some of it. And it's just what I'm getting at is it's so much. During the time that when Michael Jordan was playing, and I'm going to be honest, for a black man to speak up, that was totally unheard of, man.
No, it wasn't. I gave you an example of Bill Russell doing it in the 60s. Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar doing it in the 70s. We're talking 90s. We're supposed to be more progressive than that. And he said nothing.
I mean, when we got, you put it like this, when we hit it, man, it wasn't enough. Now it's a little more progressive. Why? Because everybody can feel it. You can get behind it because you can see it. You didn't understand the racism back then. It was racism, but it was like, you know, people closet. Now they ain't even closet. They out there. Wide open, walking down the street with a whole sheet outfit on. So you sitting there looking like, man, you got a whole king size on. Walking down the street. What I'm getting at here is these players out here, man, sometimes I think a lot of us want too much from these people. Again, these are just ball players, bro. This is just entertainment. They're out here to dribble a ball, throw it in the hoop for entertainment, to make us laugh, happy, root for the team. But at the end of the day, man, your personal life, your personal time, that's yours. You don't have to rally around every cause. You don't have to rally around any cause. A lot of these people out here, as far as basketball players, say they got all these foundations going, and you never hear about the foundations doing anything for the community or anything for people. Dude, I'm trying to figure out. Steve Francis had a foundation. I'm like, dude. Antoine Walker had a foundation. Everybody had a foundation. I'm trying to figure out the foundations of what? What did you build? Wasn't Michael Jordan build the Girls and Boys Club, and LeBron, built a school, and he did tuition for years for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I can get behind all these people, but me trying to tell you what to do with your personal time, I cannot do that because no one can tell me what to do with mine.
All right, so we're going to end it on this one because this subject
no,
is
we're not ending this.
No, it's so touchy that we're going to have to do a part 2 to this one.
9 hours long.
No, it's going to need to be a part 2 to this one. Because, we went off from the initial basketball aspect of it and then went to the cultural aspect of it. So I want to, in another video, bring it back to the basketball aspect of it. But on this one, I'm going to have to end this one right here. This is the Bearded Assassin, a.k.a. Big Keison, a.k.a. Big D, a.k.a. Raymond Reddington. That is Uncle Tim, Tim 2.0, a.k.a. Mr. Married over there. All right.